to a hot meal, have my shoulders rubbed, and her tell me what an amazing husband that I was.
And I assumed I would come home from work every day with a hot meal, him rubbing my shoulders and telling me all about his day and every emotion he felt during that day. It's gonna be beautiful.
We might have had some unrealistic expectations. Unfortunately, about 5 years into our marriage, we were in a downward spiral to a valley of hopelessness, simply because of pride, arrogance, and a lack of communication. I was a young pastor at the time at my former church, and sometimes they asked me to help young couples with their relationship, even though our relationship was failing at home. But I'll never forget the day all that changed. I was sitting down with this young couple, and I heard just this voice on the inside of me. It said, "Are you willing to do whatever it takes to have the marriage you've always hoped and dreamed of?" I thought, oh, that's brilliant. I'm gonna ask them this question. Well, when I asked them that, they looked kind of dumbfounded, and they were like, well, yes, that's why we're here. We need help with our relationship. So I gave them a few other pointers and sent them on their way, and a few hours later, I went out to the car to drive home. I'll never forget, I heard that voice again. This time it said, "Clayton, that question wasn't for them. That question was for you. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to have the marriage you've always hoped and dreamed of?" I lost it. Began to weep in my car. I knew it was God speaking to me, telling me to lay down my pride, to apologize to Ashley, and to begin working on that relationship. So I drove home. I told her I was sorry, told her everything that had happened, and I said, I want to do whatever it takes so that we can have a relationship that can last a lifetime.
And that was exactly what I needed to hear. Clayton's humility saved our marriage. I had walls built up around myself, and they just fell when he apologized. I accepted his forgiveness, and I also apologized to him for all the things that I had done to him. A couple of years ago, Pastor Joel said something in a message that I wrote down pertaining to this, and I share it all the time. He said, humility is the first step to healing in any relationship. And you guys, that is so very true. James 4:6 says that God opposes those who are proud, but he blesses those who are humble with his undeserving grace. God spoke to me in that scripture. God opposes those who are proud. I heard him say, Ashley, even when you're right, you're wrong if you're being prideful. And I'm not even on your side.
Hablan de la humildad.
But he blesses
Para que un matrimonio dure para toda la vida, tenemos que enseñar humildad y respeto. Está interesante, lo estaba viendo yo ahorita y me salió esto, ahí se lo voy a compartir.
That helped us get out of that valley of hopelessness during that time 20 years ago. The first one was we had to lay down our pride and walk in humility.
Sacar el orgullo.
Actually, Colossians 3 says that you should clothe yourself with humility. What does that mean?
Con humildad.
You gotta put it on every single day. Every day, pray, God, help me
Pídele a Dios every day.
to clothe myself with humility towards my spouse, my loved ones, co-workers, friends, everybody. Clothe me with humility. The second thing we had to do was we needed help. We wanted to have a great marriage, but we had no idea how to do it. So we started reading every marriage book we could get our hands on. We attended marriage classes. We found a married couple who had a great relationship that would be our mentors and speak into our lives. There was one time Clayton's mom told us, he said, you know what, the moment you stop learning will be the moment you stop growing in your marriage. And it's so true, and we took that to heart.
Que continuar aprendiendo, mejorando.
And the third thing that we did is that we had to believe that God could do a miracle in our relationship, and we had to start declaring it out of our mouths.
Declararlo.
Jesus told his disciples, if you just have a little bit, just a mustard seed of faith, you can speak to that mountain, and it will move. So with our mustard seed of faith, we began speaking to the mountains. We began declaring life over our marriage, that we would learn how to love each other, that we would forgive each other, that we would leave a legacy of love for our kids and our grandkids. And we realized that our marriage would never rise above the level of our mouths. So not only did we start declaring it, we also chose to communicate with kindness towards each other.
En bondad.
Slowly but surely,
Me despido porque está interesante, pero ahí se los comparto.